Good morning and welcome. Here we are at Sakli Kent, which is a beautiful canyon. It has a river inside, and we are in swimwear because there are several stretches where you will have to cross the river. Depending on how much it rains, it can either be up to the hips. I suppose it hasn't rained in the last day, so I guess it'll be much further down, but yeah, we'll definitely get wet. And now here we are at the first bit where we're gonna get wet. It's just really the first maybe 150 meters or something, which is a path. And then from there on you either enjoy the views or go on as we do and get wet feet. We're told it's really, really beautiful also, like the next 2 kilometers up to a waterfall. So let's see. I'm really excited. GS as well, I think. How are your feet? How's the walk?
I don't feel my feet anymore.
And we have just started.
Gia really doesn't do very well with cold water in her feet. We made it.
We made it, yeah, but I think it's just the first part. It can be like up to here.
Up to where?
Up to here. I'm not sure if we can make it. I can make it.
So beautiful. Wow, this place is just stunning. It's also the largest gorge in Turkey, so usually we just go 2 kilometers inside and there's a waterfall, but it's more than 18 kilometers long, and I don't know, like, it's hard to describe. It gets better by the minute. Like, look at this. Absolutely stunning. But as you can clearly see, you should bring good shoes that can get wet. Wow. So we decided to take a guide. We're not exactly sure if we really need one, to be honest. But yeah, we have Gia's mom with us and we don't want her to get hurt. And we also have the camera equipment, so I don't know. It was 30 euros for the 3 of us, and yeah. Probably not necessary, to be honest. I think it's only this one step which you saw in the video before, and the rest again is kind of like this, just walking. But yeah, you never know before, and if somebody gets hurt or if the camera gets damaged or whatever, then 30 euros really wasn't worth saving up. So we took a chance, we took a guide, and well, he's really nice as well. So. So it does get really, really narrow again. Almost, well, not quite, almost. There's 10 centimeters missing. It does get really narrow, it's amazing. It's really, really beautiful. So it's until here, usually it's where you go. But there is, I think, like 16 more kilometers. So we only did 2 kilometers, there's like 16 kilometers more left to explore. It's really an amazing place. And we are back at the car in a fresh change, a dry change of clothes. This place is amazing. You should definitely come here if you're in the area. Do you need the guides? Probably not, depends. But they're also not so expensive that if you feel in doubt, you can just take one. They are very helpful. But if you feel safe on your feet, you can also do the way without them. Either way, it's really amazing, and it's definitely worth going up until the end where the cascade is falling down. So just a short drive from this canyon, there is Xanthos here, which is a World UNESCO Heritage Site. And it's a really old city. It was first mentioned 800 before Christ and has since been, I think, Byzantine, Lydian. It has been mentioned in the Greek histories and has Roman influence. So it's quite an interesting site, and yeah, it's close by, so I think it's definitely worth dropping by and checking it out.
So this one here behind me is really interesting. It's an obelisk, or the remainings of an obelisk, but it was used by the city as kind of a logbook. They wrote all important events, important dates, important ceremonies. They all wrote this down, so this really helped a lot for the historians as well to tell the story about the city, and also over literally the centuries follow what has happened here. So that's how we know the influence of the Romans, the Greeks, before the Byzantines, and this is written in Lydian, which is a very old language. What is also extremely interesting, but it's not specific to this site, is what you see here behind me. When they do excavation, they get all the old rocks and columns, everything out of the ground. Then what they do is they kind of line them up in rows, how people believe they used to fit together before they actually use them in reconstructions of certain sites or anything. So it's kind of a large puzzle, only you need a crane and an excavator for it. And then yes, you see, like, in all these old archaeological sites, you also see these huge rows of kind of stones that kind of fit together one next to another.
So around Fethiye there's a lot of things to do, a lot of small things. The biggest one to do is the canyon, where we have the Saklikent Canyon, where we have been yesterday. And then there is like all sorts of beautiful beaches, some gorges where you can also walk through canyons, beaches. You can do boat trips, you can do paragliding, which is a big thing here. And there are some old towns and abandoned sites as well.
This is the abandoned city of Karakoy, or the ghost city, and this city was abandoned back in the 1915, 20, something like that, because of religion persecution. The people that used to live here were persecuted and massacred, and with it then the city almost died. And later the population just started leaving the city, and then it became completely abandoned.
In Fethiye, if you're around on a Tuesday, you should definitely check out the local market. It's along the main canal, and you can buy all sorts of things. Like, there are local farmers selling fruits and veggies. There's of course all the sweets that Turkey has to offer. There's touristy stuff, there's clothes, there's really something for everybody. And if you don't wanna buy anything, it's just fun to look at the people and like all the things that is going around you. So it's definitely worth checking this out if you're here on a Tuesday. If you're looking for some generally fake stuff, here you're definitely the right place. So Turkey in general is famous for selling all the luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, like all of those, but fake, of course. And here you are for sure in the right place, like there are luxury brands all over the place. For, and I quote, dirt cheap, cheaper than water.
And also very important here, there is a food court where you can also try different Turkish food.
What we have here is gözleme in two different flavors. One is white cheese and spinach, and the other one is mixed. Yay, this stuff. And it's really, really great. It's also known as Turkish pancake. Yeah, pancake, thank you.
As many of these tombs here in Turkey, they are really old. These date back to 400 before Christ. And yeah, there's nothing else to see than these, but they're still pretty amazing, carved into stone with a lot of detail. Almost 2,500 years old, and you have marvelous views over Fethiye. And I think with that also, that's kind of the end of our trip here in South Turkey. It was beautiful. We spent about a week here. We really loved it. And I think we're just gonna head to the beach the rest of the day, relax, and then tomorrow it's going to be back home. We hope you like it. If you did like our video, please consider subscribing to our channel. There's more coming. Hit the thumbs up button, that helps us out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching!
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below.
And leave us a comment. We would like to hear your opinions and thoughts.